In today's video, we're working on the Volkswagen Polo Arline. Hope you enjoy!
What's up everyone? And we're finally finishing off the Volkswagen Polo Arline. Today is the final video and we can get it MOT ready and up for sale. Find out at the end of the video how much I've spent and if I've made a profit or not. So first off, we need to crack on and get the under tray fitted because that's missing, and work through a list of bits that's outstanding on this car to get it roadworthy. So we start off by jacking the front of the car up so we can get underneath the car to fit the under tray. When working on cars on the ground, I always use an axle stand, but these are still not guaranteed to be safe, but they're safer than having nothing at all. Right, somewhere in this garage. It's been a while since this under tray's been on. Lucky enough, I haven't thrown the under tray out, but working on salvage cars, you need to keep every part until the project is finished. That way you don't need to go out and buy anything else. That's alright. Look for some screws. I love the look of that. You've also noticed I've added an Arline badge there. I've done loads to this car, way beyond what is needed. But you go back to when this was first delivered, it's a totally different car now. I'm just hoping it's going to pass an MOT. These might be let's chuck them in there. Do you know, I'm so lucky I got a garage. After being on the drive for so long, it was hard work and I appreciate my garage so much. Like a day like today, it's nice to be outside in the sun. Now before I put the under tray on underneath the car, I just wanted to show you, look how nice this sump has come up since we've done it all. I repainted it all with Hammerite paint because it was all leaking oil everywhere, and to be fair, that's come up really good. And we've also replaced the drive shafts because they needed to be replaced because the boots had all split and they would have failed as MOT as well. The history of this car is really good. It's good MOT history, and I knew it was a good car to start with. And the tray is all on, all nice and secure, all back on. That is one job ticked off the list. So to drive a car in the UK, we need an MOT certificate, which is basically a safety certificate for the car to be roadworthy on the road. There's a lot of safety checks involved in these, and one of them is checking to make sure all the fog lights, headlights, side lights, rear lights, number plate lights as well, all need to be working correctly. If they aren't working, then it could become a fail or advisory. If it's a fail, then everything needs to be repaired before we can go back for a retest and back on the road. Brake lights, how are my brake lights looking? Are they looking good? Comment below. Another check is the rear wiper and washer if it's fitted, and the front screen wash and wiper blades, just to make sure that it cleans the windscreen correctly. I always check the seat belts as well. Plug them in ready. They're all fine. Nothing wrong with them. There's nothing on the dashboard, no lights. Aircon works. Nice them leads look now. Happy with them. Sticking over lovely. But that is 10 times better than what it was. Next up are these wing mirrors. As you can see, there's run marks in the black cover and I've got a white one on the opposite side. So the majority of you in the comment section voted black. So black they go in. So to remove the plastic covers around the wing mirrors, you need to remove the glass first to get the clips inside. I used the plastic pry tool for this and they're brilliant. Just make sure you try not to break the glass. Inside the mirror you've got two big plastic clips where you push down on these to release the cover on the top. Be careful because these are brittle over time and they will snap if you're not careful. Just take your time, lightly, gently, and try and use a plastic pry tool and you should be okay. If you do break them, they're not going to fit back on properly. So I've gone for these. They are black ones and they give you a trim tool, fair play. A lot of you commented black to match the roof. For the sake of 30 quid, it's cheaper to buy black ones in the right colour than spray them. Now refitting your mirror cap is just the same as taking it off. You need to make sure them plastic clips are slotting back into place and just make sure it clips in all around the edges, nice and secure. And just make sure when you're pushing your mirror back in, you push it in from the centre and wait for the click. Now to do the other side. See, this one's already been off where it's been sprayed and it's broken. So little cosmetic changes like this will make a massive difference when it comes to selling the car. After all, you want your car to stand out from all the rest. You want to make it as nice as possible. Oh, they are definitely nicer black, ain't they? So you got all the black wing mirrors, black badge and black roof and the black spoiler, so it all ties in. Now another problem I have with this car, and it's going to stop me from getting it MOT'd, it's fitted with one reverse light. One's a fog light, one's a reverse light. The reverse light doesn't work. Now it could be a fuse, the reverse switch, the wiring and the bulb. I've checked the fuse, that's fine. I'm going to check the bulb, and then last but not least, I know looking at it previously, the wiring has been cut on it, so it could be a wiring issue, or it could be the switch, which seems to be a common issue with these. So I'm just going to take this bulb out now and have a little look. So to remove the backlight, you've got a flap at the back, and underneath that flap there's a little screw on a spring. You push it in and twist, and out it'll come. When removing the backlight, try and hold it with both hands evenly and it'll come out. As per usual, someone has broke the clip on this side. Looking at that, someone had broken the clip on it, look. To release the backlight you need to push down on both sides, but that side was broken on mine. Straightforward, really easy. And then you got these clips in, they're old case in place. I hope it's just a bulb. My God, it's not even in there. I've just put that one in for now. I think it's well, it might work. I don't know why we've got LEDs. I'm assuming these are brake lights someone's added, but hopefully this will light up. Do you know, if this works I'm going to be well chuffed, because I thought I was going to be in for a massive headache. Fingers crossed, guys. Let's chuck it in reverse. Oh, that's not good, is it? What I'm going to do, I'm going to swap it with that one and see if it works, because I don't think this bulb might not work. You know where it's from. Yes, get in there! Yes! We got reverse light. Bollocks! It's out of reverse now and that's on. Right, that makes sense why that bulb isn't in there, because it's obviously on all the time, so there's obviously something wrong with the wiring or the switch. We've pinpointed the issue because we've got voltage that goes through to that there. Obviously that's where they've taken it out, because of the lights on, and rather than fix the issue they just removed the bulb. But on an MOT, although if it's one fitted to the car, it must work for it to pass this MOT. One is a fog light, one is a reverse light. It's a requirement by law. If it's fitted, it must work. That's what I've read up anyway. So the reverse switch is located on the front of the gearbox. It's annoying now because I've just put the under tray on as well. I think you can see it. It's that yellow cable sticking out there. There. That's the reverse switch. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to order a new switch to rule the switch out, and then I know it's the cable in. Sounds extreme, but it's probably not a lot of money for a switch, that's for sure. So I might as well just replace that. Hopefully that's probably the issue. I'll order a bulb at the same time as well, and that cue that don't work. Right, what next? So next up I want to scan the car with VCDS just to check to see what sort of codes it's throwing out. One of them is for the signal for the reverse gear, and that's intermittent, and that's 2018 stored. and another one for engine control module intermittent fault, and that's our 2018 as well. So these are old stored faults. There's a few little faults on here, but I think a lot of these could be erased. Where this car's been lying around parked up and the battery's gone flat would cause faults as well. This car desperately needs to be driven to iron out a lot of its problems. One that we can fix, and I think it's going to be the reverse switch, is the signal for reverse gear. I think that is definitely the switch, and the other one is for the radio aux cable, which I'm not really bothered about, and I'm sure we can sort it all out. It's been a couple of days and we have the reverse switch right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to crack on, fit it, and hopefully get this reverse light working. So fingers crossed we can eventually take this car for an MOT. I got this off eBay. It's falling out of the box. That's the switch there, and then that's all it does is whatever, when you put in reverse, whatever gear touches, I'm assuming touches that and pushes it in to turn the light on, and then when you take it to reverse, takes it off. I'm assuming over time that either sticks in or just stops working, or it could stick out and not go in at all. I don't know. Either way, if we replace the switch, we've eliminated that problem, and that was £13 I think, so it's got to be worth giving that a try. Quite common to fail, I believe, so it's located down there, the reverse switch from that yellow cable. So the easiest and best way is to get to it from underneath there. So we're going to undo this under tray enough so I can get up inside and do it. If you look underneath there now, there is the reverse switch. And what I was talking about was these wires. Now these have been joined up at some point for whatever reason. So I should imagine they've had some trouble in the past. Perhaps the switch was damaged, who knows. But whatever's happened, they've replaced the cables. But that switch looks pretty old to me. So we're going to try and replace the switch and hopefully it'll cure our issue. I'm using this 7/8 ring spanner, hopefully to get a good seating over it. Obviously, because that's immersed in oil, I think over a period of time that could fail, so fingers crossed this works. For anyone interested in part numbers, I think that's what I've used. But there's nothing on this one, but they are used throughout all the VAG group cars, so they're all more or less the same. So the light's not on yet. Get in there. Do you know, it's the best feeling in the world when you actually fix something. I'm not a trained mechanic. I've never done anything like this until I started this YouTube channel, and it's always the best feeling in the world when you actually fix something for the first time. A lot of you out there just saying, oh my god, calm down, it's just a reverse light. But to me, it's a massive achievement. It's one step closer to getting this car finished and up for sale. While I'm rolling around on the floor trying to put this under tray back on, here's the list of names to everyone who's got involved and entered the raffle. Congratulations if you see your name above. You now have a chance of winning my Audi S1 for just £1.50. You could be driving away my pocket rocket very soon. Here's Zara to tell you how.
To enter the Audi S1 raffle, go to raffle.com, or you can scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen. There will also be a link in the description and the comment section. 5% of all the tickets sold will be donated to Kidney Wales Foundation. The raffle ends on the 27th of October at 8 PM. Good luck to everyone!
Thank you, Zara. So far we've sold 813 tickets, so well off 8,000. But I think we can still do it. We've also raised £1,219 so far. So if the car doesn't reach its reserve, you're still in with a chance of winning a cash prize of 50% of all money raised. Come on everyone, get involved and buy your tickets. Another job I wanted to do was this bloody purple line that runs all the way along the diffuser. So I'm just going to give this a quick spray black just to tidy it up, because it doesn't match any of the colour scheme of the car. So all your experts out there, don't judge me on this. This is just a little bit of wet and dry sandpaper just to key up the surface, just to make sure that the paint will stick to it. I'm not spraying the whole lot of the diffuser, just the front lip of it to get rid of this pink purple colour, and I'm just wiping it over, get rid of all the dust and dirt that's left on there. I am using that semi-gloss black. Now there's definitely a technique to this, something that I need to practice on more on the channel and definitely get a hang of doing it, because you can definitely save a lot of money by doing jobs like this yourself. But I think after a couple of coats of doing this, it's going to turn out pretty good. While we're waiting for the back to dry, I might as well crack on with these wiper arms, because these are in really poor condition and it makes the car look pretty crap. So we're going to sort these out next while we're waiting for the back to dry. Now you can see what I mean. These look absolutely horrendous, and if we could just tidy these up, you know, I could have quite easily have bought new ones or got one of them off the scrap cars, but some of them are just the same, and for the sake of just sanding it down and giving it a little spray, they're going to look a lot better and save a couple of quid too. So somewhere in here I'm going to need this. This what pulls off the wipers. Cracking little tool. So to remove the wiper arms, firstly you need to remove the disc covers that cover the nuts. Then you can undo the 13mm nuts that hold the wiper arm in place. If you're lucky, the arm will come straight off, but normally you would have to use this tool or something like this to try and pull the wiper arm off. Brilliant tool. Now the wiper arm is off, you can actually see how bad that paint is. Well worth doing this job. It's going to make a massive difference to the car. It's all about the presentation when you come in to sell a car. It's the same as the rear diffuser. I'm using wet and dry just to clean these up and sand them down, try and get rid of all the imperfections in the paintwork and get them as smooth as possible. I could use primer or build up primer to get them perfect, but the spray paint that I've bought will go directly onto metal, so it'll work perfectly fine, and that's what I'm going to use on these. I'm just going to spray them and hopefully they'll come out better than not doing them at all. Now I'm going to give these wiper arms about 5 coats, nice thin coats, and just build it up. And just take your time, build it up, let it dry a little bit and build it up again. And that's going to give us nice even coverage, and hopefully they will look the part and look pretty decent, I'm hoping. That's 10 times better. I'm happy with that. Better than having that purple pinky colour. So to ensure I got rid of that purple line, I give the rear diffuser about 5 coats of that black spray paint, and it's covered nice and you can't even see where the line was. I'm well happy about the way this has turned out. Another step closer to getting this car finished and looking the part. I'm happy with that. All this can be buffed up, see. I've just done the lip, only the lip, not underneath. I'm happy with that. Well happy with that, in fact. Better than having that bloody purple on there. Right, they're looking a lot better than what they were, that's for sure. In a day or two, I'm going to leave these just hang up here now. Leave them cure for at least 24 hours. I'm going to get the car back in, leave these hanging up. There's nothing more nerve-wracking than trying something for the first time. But if you've never tried, you'll never know. So you've at least got to give something a try once. And to be fair, I'm glad I give this a go because they've turned out really well. And I'm hoping that it's going to make a massive difference to the car. Right, it's literally about 2 days later since I done them wiper blades or wiper arms. So let's have a little look at what they look like and fit them back on the car. I'm happy with that. They're not perfect. Can't really see them. But if you look very close, if I'd used primer and sanded them down better, they would be a lot better. But that is 10 times better than what they used to be. That's for sure. Once you finish with the wiper arms, refit them exactly the same way as they come off. Just make sure you line them up properly, just above the scuttle panel, ensuring that they don't go past the windscreen and hit the A-pillar. Do you know, I'm so glad I done this. They look so much better and going to make a massive improvement to the car. So next up are these seat rails for the driver's seat and the passenger seat. They're looking really rusty and dirty where the rainwater and dampness has got into the car and started to rust the rails. We can get these looking really nice again, just like we did with the windscreen wipers. So I'm going to do the same thing and spray them up nice and black, so they're going to bring them up to a nice decent new standard, and they're not going to stand out like they do now. It shows up a lot worse on the camera, but I've already given it a little brush down. I'm going to give it another wire brush down and get rid of all the bits, and I am going to spray this just to tidy it up. I'm going to take this cover off so it doesn't get any paint on that, and it's going to look a lot better than looking at that. It's where the water's just got in over time, that's all it is, but it's going to look a lot better if I just tidy that up quick. So I've done it like that. I pulled that plastic out of the way so I got enough room just to spray in here. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than what it was. Right, I'm going to leave that dry now up until tomorrow, so it becomes nice and hard and it's not going to flake off. But that's better than what it was, and it's going to look nice back in the car. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and then I'll cut back in tomorrow. Now today is Thursday and the car is booked in on Saturday 11:30 for its MOT. Fingers crossed it's going to pass with no advisories. No advisories is the perfect MOT. If I get the odd advisory, it doesn't matter because I'll be fixing whatever advisories it is anyway. So fingers crossed it's going to pass. I wanted to show you that as well. I've just sprayed the bolts that go inside. That one was completely grey, so at least it'll be black. I'm going to blend in alright. Right, it's been 24 hours since I sprayed this. Whether you can see that or not, I'm happy with that. There's no rust in there. Can't really see it. But all the mechanism, everything is nice and black now. So I'm just going to put a little bit of grease in the runner there, both sides. and then I'm going to put it back in the car. What you need to remember, if you're ever going to remove your seats from the car, you need to disconnect the battery, otherwise you're going to have an airbag light come on the dashboard, because there are airbags in the seat normally, and there is other electric components you might damage or disrupt while taking seats out, so you want to disconnect the batteries. And just remember, when putting it all back in, that you make sure that seat is bolted down safely. Believe it or not, a loose driver seat or passenger seat can be a fail on an MOT. So all I'm doing now is doing one final check that all the lights are working, indicators are working. They had an airbag light on the dash because I've removed the seat, that's gone off. I've just done a scan, it's all green, everything is green on it, so I'm happy with that. That is the seat. You know, I'm happy with the way that's turned out. So all I gotta do is put some more grease in there, but that's better than what it was. I've literally got to go around and just make sure all the side lights, brake lights and everything are working. I'm happy I've done that as well. That's turned out alright. The back, I just wanted to pass the MOT. If it passes the MOT, it can be driven, and hopefully when driving it, it's going to run a lot better. It hasn't been driven for a long time, so I think just driving the car is going to make a massive difference. And then it's just a case then, that's all we got left to do, is give the car a really good clean. So the MOT is due tomorrow at 11:30. You'll be joining me. We'll take the car out for a spin, see how it handles, and hopefully it'll pass this MOT. After it's passed this MOT, fingers crossed, it needs wheel alignment, so I'm going to take it to have the front wheels wheel aligned, because I've obviously had problems with the suspension and I don't think they're quite lined up, so that needs to be done. And there's literally clean the car. So I'm going to get Tom's car in the garage now, leave this outside ready to go, so when come 11:30 tomorrow, we just jump in it and we'll take it for an MOT. Right, here we go. This is the first proper drive. I know it's only to the test centre, but that's the only place you can legally drive a car with no MOT. I'm just hoping it's going to pass with no issues. This is the scariest part for me. I don't know why. Oh, the nerve-wracking part. But I haven't even drove this car properly, so fingers crossed it's going to drive nice. Well, the last time I drove this car, it was full of errors. The engine management light was on. It had no power. It's going through the gear alright anyway. There's no error codes on the dashboard. The only thing with this car now is the wheel alignment. The steering wheel is not quite in line, so it's just slightly out, and that's because we've obviously done all the suspension. You know what? This car drives actually quite nice. It's driving smooth. Yeah, that steering wheel is not in line. It's just like that, so we need it to line it up. But once we do that, this is going to drive really nice. So I'm quietly confident that this car is going to pass this MOT, and hopefully, if I've done everything right, it shouldn't have any advisories. The only trouble is when you're actually working on these cars, if you haven't got a ramp, you can't really get underneath. I've got a trolley jack and axle stands, so if there's anything wrong, it is so easy to miss things because I can't physically get underneath the car and inspect it 100%. That's why I like to MOT every car I have, because they can go over and check things under the ramp that I might have missed, and then that's just giving a second opinion and just making sure everything is nice and tidy before I sell the car. But wow, do you know what, this car doesn't feel like it's done 105,000 miles. And what you got to remember, I've done the timing chain on this car. I've never done a timing chain in my life. I've done timing belts, I've done the Freelander 2, and I've done the Fiat 500. I've done that, but they were all belts. A chain is slightly different, and I think it's a little bit more difficult. But nonetheless, I've done it on this one for the first time, and you know, the engine sounds sweet. It's not, it's running okay. So I'm just gonna carry on driving the car now, and we'll cut back in when we get there. So I'm back from the test centre, and I'm pleased to say the car has passed. Do you know what? I'm well chuffed about that. Passed with no advisories. I knew it would. I'm happy that's passed. Like I said, no advisories. The car is now MOT'd, and I've just taxed it. It's £160 for the year, or £14 a month. So obviously I'm going to go for the monthly. The reason why I've taxed it is because I want to drive it around, make sure it's all okay before obviously we take it and put it up for sale. It needs a damn good clean, because like I said, I've only cleaned it quick. By right, to get this paintwork looking really nice, it needs to be polished and buffed up. And also we need to have a look at that passenger side. I don't know whether to have it repaired or not. I need to have a look at the budget to see how much this car's cost me so far and weigh up if it's really worth me doing it. You're looking anywhere from £5 upwards for these. There's some around about 4, and that's a category S. A good example could fetch a bit more. This could be a good example now that it's had the timing chain done, you've had a good service, all the bodywork will look good. If I get that quarter panel done and the door the right shade, then technically everything's been done on it, and it's going to look a nice looking car with the black mirrors, the black roof and the spoiler, and the blue brake calipers. I think that will set it apart from other ones that look the same. It drives really nice. I've also had it wheel aligned when I was there as well. He's done that for me. It was out slightly, and we knew that because where I've had the suspension apart, new in and outer tie rod and track rod ends, I've had all that done, so it will need to be adjusted to accommodate the new parts. Now, after looking at this car since I've had it, that door has been doing my head in for a long time. I've decided I'm going to have it painted, only because I need good money for this car. To do that, we need to get this scratch sorted all the way down the quarter panel, and it's really deep, so there's no way of getting that out, and it goes into the driver's door. It goes right down to the back light as well. The rear bumper has been sprayed the same shade as the door. As you can see there, the door's a different shade to the rest of the car. This has been taken off and repaired at some point. It's got a crack where the filler is, and you can also see some of the paint is peeled off there, and there's a big chunk on the back bumper. Now, I was going to leave it all like this, but all this will be someone's ammunition to knock you down more. There's a dent in the wheel arch as well that needs to be sorted. There's also a bit of rust coming through on our rear wheel arch as well. But that door is definitely a different shade. And then on the front where the damage was on the old wing, a bit on the sill there needs to be sprayed. And then I bought these wings second hand, and this was a dent in the wing. So all these issues I've just shown you are ammunition for someone to knock you down. So I'm going to get these sorted. Car's going to be fully sprayed, all the quarter panel blended into the wing. So all that's going to be done, and I'll reveal the price at the end of the video. You know, I thought this day would never come, but the Volkswagen Polo is finally finished. I have worked for 2 days cleaning this car. The paintwork was really bad, it was rough. I've clay barred it, I've polished it, I've used a car polisher on it. The paintwork has come up really nice. I've had the passenger side all sprayed, so that's all done. I had to have it done in the end because the car needed it for it to look the part. With that door a different colour, it just didn't do the car any favours. So that door has been, the wing has been sprayed, the door has been sprayed, that scratch all the way up the side has been done. The bumper was split to the bottom and it had a chunk out of it there. That's all been done. It's all matching because this was a different shade. It has all been done. A scratch going down into the door, it's all gone. And if you remember when I bought these wings, there was a chunk out of here. I've had them to do that as well. So the car is looking smart. I am well happy about the way this has turned out. That's all it needs now is a new owner. Remember now this car's done 105,000 miles. It's got a new timing chain on it. I've been driving it around and it drives fine actually now. That's all that's wrong with this car, it just needs to be driven. I am well happy about the way it's turned out. The inside of the car's clean. It's all nice and clean. Well happy with it, it's no errors on the dashboard. So we will crunch the numbers in this to show you how much I've spent on it. But I can do that from the house. Comment below, tell me what you think of the car now. What I will say though, this car is a cracking little car for someone who's just passed a test. This car is cheaper to insure than Tom's black Polo. They're both 1.2s, his is diesel, this is petrol. But this was like £500 cheaper, if not more, a year. Unbelievable, because it's petrol. It's only 1.2, ideal first car for someone who's just passed a test. It's £160 a year to tax, or I think it's £14 a month, I think. It's really good on fuel. I put 20 quid in it and it's put it up to half a tank. What more can you ask for in a little car? It's got a brand new MOT, advisory free. It's got 4 new tyres, brand new brakes. So if anyone is interested in this car, it will be going up for sale soon. And the price, I think, is going to be a reasonable $4,995. I think that's a cracking little buy for a car like this. These cars are 7-8 grand uncategorised. This is a really clean example. As you can tell from the paintwork now, it is immaculate. And it's got the black mirrors, it's got a black roof, it's got a spoiler, it's got the alloy wheels, plus the calipers are blue. There's not many that look like that. So I think that's going to set it apart from other Arlines. And it's not a style, it is a genuine Arline. Reach out to me if you're interested, guys, via my email. It's on the channel. Probably the part everyone's been waiting for is the price. How much everything cost. Here it goes. Cost of car plus fees, £1,886. Delivery was £180. Suspension was £99.72. Alloy wheels were £350. Lock and wheel nut was £20. Logbook was £28. Front bumper was £400. Slam panel was £64.89. Headlight bracket was £25.98. Wing bracket was £13.58. CV boot and clips were £14.94. Headlights were 50 quid. Wing mirror was £40. Wings were £214. Wheel arch liners £80. Black bonnet badge £12.95. Engine room was £50. Timing kit was £220. Wheel hub was £60. Spray and stickers was £21.74 for the brakes. Drive shaft was £100. Service items, oil £176. Window regulator was £30. MOT was £45. Paintwork £400. Reverse switch £13.99. Throttle body seal £61.23. Mirror caps £33.24. So the total spend was £4,392.25 and sale price is $4,995. So the question is, am I going to make a profit? Probably not. I'm probably never going to get 4995 for it, so realistically I've probably made a loss by the time I add all my time to this car. But was it worth it? Yes. Do you know why? Because I enjoyed every second of filming the videos and doing the work to the cars. It's what I enjoy doing, and sometimes it's not about making the money, it's about doing what you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all in a bit, guys.